City of Needles, Tuesday, May 10th. Executive session will be starting at 5:35. The 5 o'clock portion has been recessed to 5:35. Roll call.
Councilmember Campbell.
Present.
Evans.
Here.
Merritt.
Here.
Pageant.
Here.
Belt.
Here.
Longacre.
Here.
Thank you.
Mayor Williams is going to be about 10 minutes late, so we'll get started here. Recess to executive session. Go ahead.
Public employee performance evaluation pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, title of position, city clerk. B, NPUA counsel, conference with legal counsel regarding potential litigation, a potential initiation of litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9B4, one potential case.
And Councilmember Longacre has recused himself on item B because that involves potential initiation of litigation against a cannabis business.
Yes, yes. Thank you, John.
We'll go ahead and get started. Sorry for being a little bit late. This is the regular meeting of the City of Needles, California, and the Public Utility Authority. This is Tuesday, May 10th, and we'll call this meeting to order and take the roll.
Councilmember Campbell.
Here.
Evans.
Here.
Merritt.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Pageant.
Here.
Belt.
Here.
Longacre.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to recess the city council meeting and convene a joint meeting. Wait a minute. We need
Would you
to,
like a report out?
yeah, we need to report out of the closed session.
Okay.
I'm
So
here.
the council met in closed
Yes.
session. Item A was public employee performance evaluation pursuant to Government Code Section 54957. The title of the position, the city clerk. There was no reportable action taken. Item B, NPUA council meeting conference with legal counsel regarding potential initiation of litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D4, one potential case. There was no reportable action taken.
Thank you. Now we'll recess the city council meeting, convene a joint meeting. Council and NPUA call to order. Roll calls already been taken. Public comments pertaining to the executive session items. A 3-minute time limit per person has been established. Is there any comments on the executive session? Seeing none, we will adjourn that. I'll recess the executive session. Jeez. Would you please rise for our invocation of the Pledge of Allegiance? Dear Lord, thank you for letting us gather and take care of the city's business. I ask that you be with the Wenger family if what we've seen just now is true, and bless Joanne and the family. If Dr. Wenger has passed, I ask that you be with them. Help us to keep you in the forefront of our mind as we move forward with the city's business and make the best decisions for our community. We love you, Lord, and we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have approval of the agenda.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
Evans.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Pageant.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Longacre.
Yes,
Thank you.
Conflicts of interest.
just my previous one in executive session, Your Honor.
Thank you. Correspondence? I didn't see any. Okay. As a courtesy to those in attendance, we ask that you set your cell phones to their off position or silent mode, please. Sure. All right. Public appearance, persons wishing to address the city council on subjects other than those scheduled are requested to do so at this time. When called by the mayor, please announce your name and address for the record. In order to conduct a timely meeting, a 3-minute time limit per person has been established by Municipal Code Section 2-18. Amendments to the California Government Code Section 54950 prohibits the city council from taking action on a specific item until it appears on the agenda. Hey, Judy, come on up.
Judy Thornton, 1835 South Drive in Mojave Valley, and with Needles Tourism. We had a really successful bike week, Route 66 Bike Week, and the museum was one of the stops on the scavenger hunt, one of the 8 stops on along Route 66. It was very successful. You came in, you got your picture taken with Spike, so it promoted Spike, and it also promoted the museum. The other thing I wanted to tell you, we're going to partner with the school district, Needles School District, to provide educational tours and visits to the Needles Museum. This has all come up, and we're going to do our first tour. We'll do them for all ages, and then we're going to try to open it up into other area schools to come down to the El Garces. Many of the kids in town have never been to the museum. They're not aware of what the El Garces is, so this should open up a whole new phase for them to learn about the history of Needles. And we're going to do our first tour on May 24th with 46 first graders. So it'll be a learning curve for us, but we're going to have a live Spike. We'll have a Harvey girl, and Simon Garcia is going to come down and play gourd for us. So we're hoping we're going to gear it down to first grade, but we are hoping that this will be successful, and next year we'll have a lot more kids come in for tours.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any other public appearance? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to a 10-minute time limit per person has been established by Municipal Code Section 2-18 for presentations. The first one is the Chamber of Commerce, El Garces Visitors Center update. These things are loud.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor Williams, members of the City Council, City Manager Daniels. I'm Steve Cropsey, Project Manager for the Chamber of Commerce TI project at the El Garces. You're going to get a quick slide presentation here. In a few minutes, there's been considerable progress in the development of the project. We've had some issues that delay us, simple things that you don't even think about. For instance, the front door assembly, we've been waiting on that for about 8 weeks. We've had some issues with sprinklers availability. Even our T-bar ceiling, which went in there, which is in and completed, they had no T-bar in Bullhead City, so I had to go to Havasu and wipe out the entire stock of Lowe's to get the T-bar ceiling. It's just unbelievable, this kind of stuff that is impacting our daily lives. But as I said, the project is going well. And I'd like to go ahead and start with the slide presentation. This is this is the electrician moving into place. We roll through. Yeah, the electrician. This is getting the plumbing done in the only bathroom in the property. That's Randy Williams. This is Goodwin's crew doing drywall. It's been the last week of March since I was here, so that's why you're going to see several shots. This is a River Valley air conditioning, putting in the rough end air conditioning units and air handlers. And again, more drywall and drywall. That's the air handler unit that was put up over the storeroom area. This is, and that was a big deal. They had to hang it off of the I-beam of the building. More of the air handler. And you can see the drywall is up and pretty much up and done. Again, sprinkler, electrician, and this is the beginning. Oh, they're beginning to put the lights in. That's the installation that's been completed. Randy Williams there. Again, installation. framing and drywall. This, their taping there, that was Joe Goodwin's crew. This, he's finishing drywall here. The last time I was here, I said if the creek didn't rise, God willing, the creek don't rise, we'd have the sheetrock and the painting done in 2 weeks, and we frankly did. So it worked out pretty well. I guess both of those incidents happened. God was willing and the creek didn't rise. That thing that we just passed was a laser, and what that is for putting in the T-bar ceiling so it's completely level. Really a neat piece of equipment.
It's level. Oh, does it?
Yeah.
It's the only one doing that.
The T-bar ceiling's going in, and as a matter of fact, we expect the air conditioning to be finished this week. T-bar, there again, T-bar. We had LaPorte Electric did the electric work. This is, if you'll back up that slide, we went fast. This was a donation from Broadband 66. They did the pre-wiring for the data and cable TV. I appreciated that, of course. I think this gentleman's name is Chris. Oh, Jim, excuse me. And this is the electrical disconnect for the air conditioning unit. As I said, we're ready to set the air conditioning unit now. The interior doors are being finished, and by the end of the week, we expect to have the interior doors hung and the flooring finished. And this is just the flooring materials labored in. I asked Set Frida, this is the men's restroom, or the, excuse me, the only restroom, but that's the restroom that's completely finished, and River Valley Plumbing and Hardware Express donated the fixtures. Colorado River Plumbing, I'm sorry. And that was the night light that's in the building now. And it comes on by a solar cell. So at night when you go by, there's nobody necessarily working. It's just the lights on. The light knows it's dark out, or the solar cell knows it's dark out. And this is yesterday or the day before. The floor is pretty much, it's about 50% completed. And the doors are getting their second coat of urethane. And I don't know how that's a duplicate picture, I guess. I must have loaded that twice. That was it? Okay. If there are any questions, I'll try to answer them
Any
for you.
questions for Mr. Cropsey?
I'm sorry?
Ask if there's any questions
Are
from
there
the
any
council.
questions?
Where are we at on construction? We still looking at the end of summer?
I'm looking at the 11th of July.
11th of July for completion?
Yes, sir.
Nice, okay.
Super.
Thank you.
Other questions, Zach?
Yeah,
I'll tell you, we've
coming into town, we have a new billboard for the visitor center. It says Chamber of Commerce Visitor Center. What's the name gonna be? Do we know?
Well, it'll come back. Well, I'll add it to a future calendar.
That's something we decide?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All I have.
Any other questions for Mr. Cropsey?
I wanted to mention, as far as the schedule goes, we are, the 11th of July is a scheduled completion date. And again, as I was advised when I was being overly optimistic, that you never know what's going to
It could
happen.
change, of course, of course.
And I don't ever know what's going to happen. But
July don't hurt my feelings, not at all.
But a lot of the people have donated, and some are donating but getting paid a little. And the mayor advised me it was going to cost to get the thing rolling. And obviously all the subs, as you probably know, are busy. Everybody is swamped. So when I can persuade them to come in, and for a lot of them, this is a very little job, and it is not all that important to the subs as it is to me, to you, and to the chamber. But they've been very gracious about working us in, is what I'm trying to say. It's been a great team.
All right, thank you.
And I wanted to mention too that the fixtures, the electric fixtures were upgraded from the plan. They're LEDs, and Greens Electric has been a huge help with us, providing materials to us at a very reasonable cost. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Excellent. God. Okay, consent calendars next up. Public comments pertaining to the consent calendar, there's a 3-minute time limit. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted in one motion, the form listed. The mayor or any member of the city council may pull an item from the council consent calendar for discussion. That's still too loud. Sorry about the feedback. Prior to council action, a member of the public may address the city council on matters scheduled on the consent calendar. 3-minute time limit per person applies. Recommended action is to approve items 2 through 5 on the consent calendar by affirmative roll call vote. We have a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
Evans.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Pageant.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Longacre.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, number 6 is ordinance number 650-AC amending section 15A to -7 designated skateboarding areas of operation. There was a change, Rick?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, being brought to my attention by the Vice Mayor that we had recommended a change in the ordinance to deal with the hours of operation, to have it closed between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m., which is the curfew. But in the existing language, which is in the ordinance today, or in the municipal code today, says no person shall skate or skateboard when the designated skateboard park area is wet. And I'm told from skateboarding experts that you do that once, skate when it's wet. But we're not gonna be up there monitoring about whether there's sprinkle or. So I would recommend that item B be scratched from this ordinance, and it's a non-substantive change that shouldn't stop the council from giving the final reading and approval. Our recommendation is to approve.
Questions? Yes.
With it being wet, that doesn't put us liable to any injuries that might happen if kids do go out skateboarding.
Well, we're liable.
Bring it through.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. We are liable if anybody's walking on the site. We're liable for
That's true.
so many ways that it's just one.
After I said it, I thought
No,
better
no,
of
no.
it.
All right, we need a motion.
Your Honor, I'll move the matter.
I will second.
Second call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
Evans.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Pageant.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Longacre.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 7, State of California drought update.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, ask that you take the top copy of this and okay. I've gotten a lot of questions about the drought. And indeed, we are in the worst drought in recorded history. But droughts don't happen uniformly across a state that's 1,200 miles long. There are areas that are under severe drought, and then there's areas which aren't. So I'll draw your attention to this first chart. At Big Bear Lake, they are 20% above rainfall. Every other community on this list, Santa Ana, Diamond Bar, Newport Beach, Palm Springs, 29 Palms, are in various stages of severe drought. For example, at the Mecca Fire Station, they are 96% below their normal rainfall. In Hemet, they're 43% behind normal rainfall. In Idlewild, up on the
I'm
mountain,
going to Big
they're
Bear.
30% behind. So the drought is real and it's serious. The second piece that I sent around
Not even counting.
are two recent articles, and I could have given you 100,
Two bodies in counting.
that talk about the severity of the drought. We all know that Lake Mead is at 37% of its capacity. But Shasta Lake is about that same level.
They're gonna have to start rating it on bodies if they keep lowering.
And what we've seen in recent news reports is at Lake Mead, that they are now getting to where there have been two bodies found, one in a steel drum. Three now, okay.
Three?
Right, so as the water has dropped, things are being exposed along the shoreline. But it is a very serious drought. All you have to do is look at these pictures. Now, the Metropolitan Water District, which covers Los Angeles, Orange County, parts of Riverside, parts of San Bernardino, and San Diego County. It is so severe, the drought in the Central Valley, that they're only getting 5% of what they normally get from the Central Valley and the canal that goes over the pass, the grapevine.
I heard Arizona might get another restriction by end of summer.
Yes, they will. So, but we're in a different basin with a different rhythm. But the more constrained LA is, the more they are gonna look to Colorado River for their water source. And we need to guard that, be on guard at all times. So, the point of this is that they have gone to limiting lawn watering to 1 day a week. We are not anywhere close to that. Now, when we last saw the previous worst drought was in 2015, and the governor ordered that we all cut back 15%. We, the city of Needles, was able to achieve that on the city's water use at ball fields, golf course, and other public properties, as opposed to having water pools that would go and say, oh no, you're an odd numbered house, only even numbered can water today. Or your neighbor tells me that you've watered 2 days this week. We are not anywhere close to that.
Screw with that water.
But I want, while we're not there yet, it is important that we all be water conscious, that we conserve this precious resource, and that we use our resources wisely. Now, there is a governor's order that is still voluntary, that was issued in April of 2021 and was reissued, that calls for voluntary cutbacks. We aren't there yet, but we all ought to be doing our best. Simple things, and we'll be including advisories in the utility bills, like you don't need to have the water running while you're brushing it. Don't take 20-minute showers. I mean, but there's just simple things that can have a big effect. Water is a limited resource. My biggest concern long-term, and it's already on the verge of happening in Glen Canyon, which is between Lake Powell and Lake Mead.
No hydro.
Right, they're losing their ability to generate hydropower.
Yep.
Now, when that happens, if that happens in Lake Mead, then we lose what Needles is famous for, and that's its hydropower, which keeps all of our power rates low, relatively low. We pay $0.015 per kilowatt for hydropower we pay about 7 cents for from coal, nuclear gas. So we don't want this to get, we need to conserve. So less draw on the river and continue to generate power. So what I'm trying, I just want to encourage people, we're not there yet. It doesn't look good. But if we conserve, we can, I believe we can conserve our way out of this unless, you know, the world turns upside down.
Don't
So
say
I just-
that.
What, like last year?
I know.
Yeah, it's fire, floods and all kinds of other things. But also, the fire folks are projecting a heavy fire season for wildfires, which is directly tied to the drought. But anyway, I've said enough. I'm not going to preach, but we are going to do everything we can to avoid being water pollution. We think that the city ought to take the lead and conserve in the water it uses on its property. So with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions. This is just an informational item, but I thought it warranted just a couple minutes.
Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there some way that we can offer incentives to people to maybe redesign their front yard, take away a little bit of their grass or their foliage? I took out my plants, I put in rocks that really
Yes.
killed me to do that.
Yep.
My husband reminded me that I lived in the desert. So we have rocks and lights and little statues and things for the front. But I have a garden and I have a swimming pool. So there's just like, I grow my own food and I have a pool. So these are things that take water. And I personally don't want to see us lose anything as far as the beauty. We're working up with our golf course, which is a moneymaker for a draw for the city in combination with tourism and golf and tournaments. And we're bringing our golf course back up to a good standing. And I would not like to see that that has to be cut back, although we are in a shortage. So maybe there's something we can do. Maybe we can buy and sell cheap, inexpensive, beautiful colored rock or something where people could redo their yards, or some kind of incentive program. I don't know how that would work, but trying to, like we did the beautification project, we picked those homes, like maybe do something a little bit more, like, yeah, we don't have contractors. That's a question. But anyway, just a suggestion that maybe we could offer that to people, and maybe whether it's a gift or a percentage or a monetary gift, small one to, I don't know how that would work, but it's a thought.
Mr. Mayor, if I
Go
might
ahead, Rick.
respond. That would amount to a cost that's
Okay.
not currently budgeted.
Okay.
Right now, our priority is to keep those water, electric, and wastewater rates as low as possible. There are cities that have done it, but they've had to take money from those water and sewer and electric programs and put it over. But I'll do some research and bring something back.
Contest. One prize.
Any other questions on this? All right, city attorney's report. Is John on here still?
Yeah, I'm just trying to undo the thing here. I have nothing to report this evening.
Thank you, John. Have a good week. Rick?
Yes, sir. Is with great pride, I want to point out that the reconstruction of Duke Watkins Park has begun. The playground equipment is under construction. I visited the site today. A lot of it is up, but the ground cover is not there, the cushion. And there's one piece of equipment that showed up that had been damaged that will be replaced. And we're looking at having that playground equipment ready for use in about a week. But this is just the beginning. The city received a $90,000 emergency preparedness grant to assist us in able to respond to emergencies that occur. There was a sewer spill at the River Valley Inn
It was raw sewage being put out onto the ground. We are working with that property owner to get it resolved. I've had the opportunity to meet with the Needles Housing Authority. Housing is one of our highest needs right now. So what I've done is researched housing programs and is qualifies for funds, housing funds that the city does not. So we want to meet with the housing authority and find out how we can work collaboratively to get them qualified for grants that can be used for moderate income, which is up to $60,000 for a household. They need a place. I've offered to have them have their housing authority meetings in this council chambers, as long as they coordinate it with the city clerk. But we want to work with the housing authority to find out what collaborative efforts are. I was contacted by the Girl Scouts wanting to find out if there was someone interested in starting a Girl Scout troop. If anybody has any interest, please, get with me. I have a meeting, a video meeting set up with our
Throw you under the bus.
state assembly member, Eduardo Garcia. Someone who I had worked with in Channel Valley. One of our buses has a new bus. We're having problems that with the electronics, so it's in and out of the shop. I'm working with an individual that is working to create a new sandwich shop in town, down where the Dunkin's, or where the donut shop was, there on, is that G? F Street? F, yeah.
F Street.
I had an opportunity at the SCAG meeting to meet with Congressman Raul Ruiz, who's an emergency room doctor in his real life in the Coachella Valley, but he's our new congressman. And I invited him out, and I'm sure he'll take us up on it. I had the chance at the SCAG meeting to attend a session on housing. There are billions of dollars the federal government and the state government are putting in to try and stimulate the housing market. I took that opportunity to meet with a half a dozen housing developers, one of which is already scheduling a meeting to determine what the situation is. I continue to work on the fire truck restoration. I had a meeting with the museum, and we're progressing nicely on the fire truck restoration. I want to thank News West. There's a story I'm sure that is going to come out soon on, we need about $15,000 to finish off the fire truck. And the only thing missing right now is getting that engine running. But the radiator itself was $11,000. The other 4,000 is just bits and pieces left. And then this thing, I hope, will be ready for the Christmas or the holiday season.
Which is right.
So if anybody has an interest in fire truck restoration, let me know. We continue to work with the sheriff's office, the school district, and our own code enforcement to apply for a supplemental law enforcement grant. We're looking at adding a school resources officer, a drug sniffing dog, and working with the school to get a counseling program for children in the school district. Right now, there's essentially none. And we need a drug intervention, drug, alcohol, and now tobacco intervention program at the school district. So Dr. Mary's working very closely with us, as is the sheriff's office. And thank you for their help. I met today with the Fort Mojave Indian tribe. They've purchased the Oasis Hotel, which is adjacent to the Best Motel. They are doing a rehab of that building. It's it's on non-reservation land, so it's subject to our building permit requirements in line. And I'm working with them because we want to facilitate and be prompt and minimize brain damage and permitting costs. The Needles High School cheerleading team is doing a community cleanup next week. They set an appointment in my office, come to meet for a personal donation.
So they're gonna come in and clean your office?
Well, yes, I also want to conclude my report with, I had the opportunity to meet with Darren Hill from Hill Grocery Companies. He is very satisfied with everything that the city is doing. We issued him the only permit he will need from the city for the grocery store. He is ordering parts and pieces, but the California reputation of being business unfriendly is a hurdle to get over. This would be his first investment in California. And he wanted to be assured that he would not get caught in the California permitting quicksand. I explained to him that in this state, it focuses on the city. The city's already issued his only land use entitlement. There is no California Environmental Quality Act compliance he needs to do. It's done. It is a grocery going into an old former grocery store. Parking is adequate. It is a hand in glove fit. And I did my very best to provide him insurance. And this is a follow-up meeting to something he did in December. But I continue to be optimistic. And Mr. Mayor, that's my report. If I'd answer any questions.
Any
Now-
questions? All right, let's start on the council requests then. Councilman Longacre.
Councilman Longacre, okay,
Shift it around.
right?
You missed out on the fun part of the closed session, so.
Threw me for a
Go
loop. I only have one request, and I think Dale's gonna work on that, but I would like to know what it takes to name a park in this city. I got an idea for our beach park. And that's all my request.
Donna?
Two things. I want to thank the city for the grass at the swim. We were up there playing. I walked barefooted, so to make sure we could, and it was nice, no problems. It looks really great. The pool's looking good. So we are starting swim team has started officially, so it's nice to see all those kids out there. They probably had a good 100 kids out there in these last two questions. So we had lots of kids out there swimming. I know Flip Mendez is this Saturday, so I want to thank everybody that participates. I know it's a whole community event that gets that running. The tournament Saturday, the golf tournament here in Needles. Sure, many of us are golfing in there. And also on that school resource, Rick, didn't we talk about this? Don't we already have a school resource officer? Didn't we pay for that in our budget, splitting it?
No, there was a non-sworn position.
Liaison.
Yeah, that is in there. We're reviewing that right now. But I'll provide you a written.
And that's it. Have a good week, guys.
Great. Dr. Paget?
Yes, last Thursday and Friday attended this Southern California Area Governments meeting with Rick, and we had a very, very interesting and nice session there. I'd like to take a special recognition for our sheriff's department and our fire department to keeping our community safe. Thank you.
I had 3 questions and he answered them all. So that's it. Have a good night, everyone.
One question, a couple things actually. One question. Retro Pizza, saw that shut down. We were under the impression that something else is gonna open in there, correct?
Rick?
Yes, Retro Pizza sold. to, the same individual that owns Red Dog. And he is bringing in a pizza parlor from San Clemente that makes deep dish Chicago style.
That's the same location?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. And piggyback off of Tana there, Flipman does. It's always a great event. Hopefully, hope to see everybody there. Unless you're at the baseball or softball games, want to congratulate our Mustangs for being league champs, both of them undefeated in the league, and they're both going in as one seeds in divisional playoffs, which are held right here in Needles starting Thursday. Good luck to the Stings. That's it.
Excellent. Ms. Campbell?
I was going to say, good, you answered two questions and you said the baseball stuff. I want to remind us that we have two giant potholes on the corner of B and Acoma, right in front of Tracy Hanline's house, that I drop my car into every time I turn right, and it's a really big hole. And so we need to get that filled in.
A in a coma.
B and Acoma. And welcome back, Ross. We missed you. So we're glad you're home. We hope you had fun in Tahoe. I did not have fun in Tahoe. And I wanted to let you know that in as much as we do need a counselor and school resource and counselor, we do have the availability, because it has happened, unfortunately, too many times to speak of, is that behavioral health here in Needles offers counseling when suicides happen for the kids. So that's a resource that is in our town that needs to be utilized if and when that happens. And that's unfortunate, but it is there. They have a person trained in that office to deal with kids that have to deal with that. So hopefully we don't have to go down that path. And I won't be able to play golf this weekend. My son-in-law is graduating from medical school this weekend. So kudos to Rodney Hiddle. It's graduating in anesthesia. So that's pretty exciting. So that's all I have.
All right, and all I have, Rick, is you get me the information on the BNSF for the underpass.
Oh, that was.
I'll get that phone call made and stuff. We gotta go back, we'll go. All right. And other than that, that's it. Again, keep Dr. Wenger and his family in your prayers. And with that, we'll adjourn. Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Night.
Good night.
Good, John.